This is day 18, but this is day 1, and this is the exact reason why your slides are causing your presentation to fail. They're bulky, they're overwhelming, and that boredom is spreading to everyone else in the room. Just like these oranges, if you leave one rotten one in the bowl, it will spread to the rest. One bad slide can infect the whole energy in the room. That's why in this video I'm going to go through my findings from studying the best communicators in the world and show you how they use slides to boost their engagement and not kill their engagement. But before I go into how you can boost it, let me show you how you don't lose it. And I'm going to move these away from my face because they stink. Oh, and also, if you want to get this poster on how to make an influential presentation, the blueprint is in the first link below. That is completely free. But right here is your classic primary school slide that they teach you. Big title, little text. And this is the first reason why you are losing your engagement when you put your slides on. If people can read your slides and not listen to you and still understand your presentation, you should not be speaking in the first place. Your slides are there to supplement what you're saying, not take over what you're saying. And alongside that, to make sure it doesn't take over what you're saying, you need one message per slide. Because when you're looking at this, you could be talking about the t-shirts, but they might be thinking and looking at the bottle section. So what you're saying and what they're thinking don't match. So when they walk out that room, it's not that they don't remember what you were saying, they didn't process what you were saying. Because subconsciously, something felt a little bit off. So to stop that from happening, you want one message per slide, one quote, one image, one video. Because this will guide the audience to think what you want them to think. And to make sure what you are saying and what they are thinking match together. And that takes me on to how you can boost engagement. And in 2019, I was trying to pursue my dream of being a professional MMA fighter. And I was living in America at the time. And I wanted to stretch my money out so I could stay there as long as I can. So to do that, I decided to have the same tea every night. And my favourite food is spaghetti bolognese. So I went to the shop, I bought my meat, I bought my onions, I bought my peppers, I bought my mushrooms. Yes, I got my mushrooms. I got my pasta, I got my tomato sauce, and I put it all together and I whipped it up and I meal prepped it for the full week. And I did that for 2 months. I ate spaghetti bolognese for 2 months just to save money. And by the end of it, I hated spaghetti bolognese. And I hated the fact that I hated spaghetti bolognese because I love spaghetti bolognese. But the reason that I started to find it boring is because there was no contrast within my diet. If I mixed it up and I got chicken pesto pasta and salmon and rice and burritos, that spaghetti bolognese would have tasted nice again. It would have been engaging. But because I had the same thing all the time, it was monotonous and it was boring. And it's the same thing with your slides. If you have slides like this for your full presentation, it is boring because it's always the same. And the way you're going to change that up is by creating contrast. The first way to create contrast. Now, the whole point of this is to direct their focus to a certain point on that screen. Because right now, an L is not a loss, it's a lesson. All those words kind of blend into one. But if I do this, and it's very simple, I increase the text size. And if I do this, I put it in capital letters. So simply by increasing the size of certain words, you can direct the audience's focus to what you want them to focus about. So what you're saying and what's on screen all matches together. So that's the first way that you can create contrast with your slides. Going on to the next one. And same again, I've got that same statement on. I put it in colour. Straight away, your focus is going to the lesson because I've put the colour on. So I've created the contrast between the normal white and my orange. So you can create contrast by simply putting an important word in colour, because that is what will catch the audience's mind first. They will be looking at that first. So that's the most important thing on the slide. And then you can mix them both together. You can have colour and you can increase the size of the font to make it stand out even more. So the first option was this. It looks pretty boring, kind of makes me want to go to sleep. The second option is this. I'm more engaged. And it's simply by increasing the font size, putting it in colour, and it's in cap locks. It's that simple. That has now kept me more engaged. Now going on to the next way that you can create contrast. Because sometimes you can have more things on your slides. Even though it should be one message per slide, sometimes they end up being a little bit bulky. What happens if you're talking about part number 1 and they're looking at part number 4? For example, let's say I was talking about the resisting comfort part within my speech, but they're looking at the repeating the process part. Well, I can stagger my slides to make sure they're looking at the right point at the right time, like this. And then once I've finished talking about that and I move on to the recovering from the setbacks part, I go on to that, and then that, and then that. And simply by staggering the information on your slides, you direct the focus so they're concentrating and thinking on the right things at the right time. So that is the third way that you can create contrast. The next way is, I've not got it down, but it's by using images. And when you're going to use images, you want one image per slide, like this and like this. Because too many images will overload the audience with too many things. Like I said, one message per slide, one message per slide, one message per slide, one message per slide. And this is how you're going to make your slides entertaining. Sometimes it'll be just text, sometimes it'll be images, sometimes you'll include videos, sometimes they'll be in different colours, sometimes there'll be one colour. But by mixing up the slides, you create contrast throughout, which is going to keep the audience more engaged because it's always going to be different. And the best way that you can think about this is you're not going to have the same dinner every single night. And if you do, you're going to find it boring. So why would you make every single slide the exact same as the previous slide? Yes, keep the same font and keep the same style, but change it up. For example, so I go through mine, different colour. I've got a video, staggering it, it's in cap locks and it's in a different colour and it's bigger. Same again. The mouldy orange theory that I've literally did at the start of this video. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That is the problem if you don't fix your slides. The boredom will spread like these mouldy oranges spread. Text, text. So make sure your slides are different throughout to create that contrast. And if you can create that contrast, you will boost the engagement within your audience. And then you're more likely to inspire, inform, and educate them and get them to think, feel, or do something after listening to you. And if you want the blueprint to create an influential presentation just like that, check out the link below and I will send you your personal copy alongside 11 emails to supplement the process. But what happens if you've made a presentation, you've made your slides, and it's turned out to be 30 minutes and you've only got a 20-minute slot? You probably should watch this one. See you later on.